You have to use a VPN, a virtual private network, to keep all the data that goes in and out of your computer secure. You have to be interested in privacy in order to have freedom. And best of all is a decentralized VPN. That's what I'm going to be talking about in this video.
Ready to hop in the 6-4 and cruise around the blocks? There's a storm coming to the underworld and the heat is on. Take over the blocks and call the shots. It's time to hustle or get hustled. What's it gonna be? Stay sharp. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Don't let them catch you slipping. Only real gangsters thrive in the dope wars world.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me one of the team from Mathnodes, mathnodes.com, and we're going to be talking about their DVPN, Decentralized Virtual Private Network. Now, before I introduce him, please subscribe, follow me on Twitter, CryptoRichYT, join my official Telegram announcements channel, and follow me. I've already said follow me on Twitter, but come over to bit.ly/CryptoRichOdyssey, where I post lots and lots of videos, including videos which are far too controversial for YouTube to stomach. Hey, Freaknik, thank you so much for making yourself available.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're so welcome. You are one of the team at mathnodes.com, and you have, or your team have, developed a decentralized VPN using the Sentinel protocol. Is that correct?
Yeah, so there's me, that's the team lead, and then there's two other people that assist part-time mostly. One of them, Darkcube, helped test the hot wallet because we have a fiat interface where you can purchase DVPN through our app, and so he was making sure that the security. And then Jiv, who designed the wallet interface for us, and then we have TypeDef, who just recently came on, that just reconstructed our web page from a static page to a WordPress site. So,
okay.
But I'm the main coder behind the application right now until I can onboard some more developers.
Okay. All right. Now, people who are long-time subscribers on my channel will know that I've covered Sentinel, their DVPN, quite a bit. And I used to do regular interviews with Dan, who's now moved on to another project. And a decentralized VPN, we'll talk a bit about that. But DVPN, your Mathnodes DVPN uses the Sentinel open source protocol. Like they're coding it, so you've white labeled it essentially. And for people who don't know, Sentinel is part of the Cosmos ecosystem, and you can purchase DVPN off Osmosis Dex, and plus maybe a few other exchanges and stuff. So just tell us, how does your DVPN fit in with the Sentinel and Cosmos ecosystem?
So our DVPN, like Solar Labs, uses the Sentinel blockchain to find nodes that are hosted by community or anybody in particular. And you can connect to them, you can subscribe to them. So subscriptions are based on bandwidth usage. So if you want to subscribe for 50 gigabytes or 75 gigabytes, and you can use, in Solar Labs, you use gems, which are just a 100-to-1 ratio of DVPN to a gem. Our Melee app, you can purchase using Osmosis Coin, Atom, Dissenter, Osmo, and obviously DVPN. So ours isn't abstracted in that sense. It's more kind of the enthusiast aspect on that end.
Okay. Now, the way that I understand it with Sentinel, and I think it's the same with, and also Solar Labs DVPN, because I've covered that as well on my channel. But the way that I understand it is, I mean, we'll talk about what a decentralized VPN is versus a centralized VPN shortly. But with your DVPN, I can set up my own node. I can give bandwidth to the ecosystem for decentralized encrypted traffic to go from my node to somebody else's node, and that by renting out or sharing my bandwidth, I can earn crypto for doing so.
Well, no, actually, ours is just a client, so it's not a server. So you can't run a DVPN node with our software. That you
Right.
have to do with the Sentinel software on their GitHub. So,
Okay.
or HandyHost makes a graphical user interface to share your bandwidth at home. And there's actually a couple nodes, one in Malaysia, one in Lithuania, that are residential nodes. So they share their residential bandwidth, which is really, I think, the game changer when it comes to decentralized VPN is having residential nodes available, because certain websites like the Hive blockchain, if you go to create a Hive account, they do a IP score. So what your IP address is, a score on the IP address, and if it's coming from a data center, it's a low score. So they actually don't allow you to create an account. But if you use a DVPN client like Solar Labs or Mela, you can connect to a residential node like the Lithuanian or the Malaysian node, and you'll have a high IP score because it's a residential node, and you'll be able to create an account.
Right. Well, I think the other thing about the residential nodes is that it's even more decentralized than somebody, setting up their own server, because that takes a fair amount of investment and knowledge. Now, the Handy Host, they have a graphic user interface. So even like a techno newbie, or I don't know, a techno doofus like me could use their graphic user interface, because I'd be interested in setting up a node and earning crypto and through a DVPN service.
That's how I got started. Last November, Sentinel started the incentive program. I said, well, I like crypto and I like, to earn it for sharing my bandwidth. So I set up a couple nodes in some data centers and started sharing my bandwidth. It is important, I think, that if you're going to do something like that, there is a risk, obviously, for anybody abusing your node for criminal activities, or even just for spamming. I mean, even spam emails is considered criminal in some countries. So it is good. Like 50% of the nodes that MathNodes has. So we run 15 nodes. 50% of them are paid with Zcash on in an anon setup, so they don't know who's running those nodes. So it's just plausible deniability at that point. The other one are connected to some names, but there's no logging in Sentinel DVPN nodes, and it's good if you're an operator not to do packet analysis, because that would say that you know how to monitor traffic, and that's not a good option for you to show that knowledge. So
Right.
it's good. It's good to just keep no logging and just run it in the background, and just always have a plausible deniability aspect on that.
Well, I have no idea how to even set it up as yet. I'd have to look into it, and it's very easy for me to deny how to. I don't know what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know what a packet is, or a packet of data, but how do I even look at it? Are you kidding?
yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what a decentralized VPN is, and I'll start by, because regular subscribers will know that I have trailers for NordVPN, and people click on that affiliate link, and then I earn a little bit of income. And how I found NordVPN was a few years ago. I did some research on VPNs, and NordVPN came out on top. And then I wrote to them and I said, I'd like to be an affiliate. Do you have an affiliate service? And that's how it started. It did come out very, very well. However, the risks with a centralized VPN are counterparty risk. I don't know who has access to the data because it's centralized.
Right.
I don't know if there are any backdoors. I don't know what agreements they might have with government agencies or intelligence agencies. I don't know what they're doing with the data. I don't know how secure it is in terms of whether it's been hacked or not. And even if it was, would they let me know? And then also, it's prone to regulatory capture. So I think but in Pakistan, which is where I'm from, very recently, the government announced that anybody who uses a VPN has to be registered.
Oh, geez.
No,
Good
no.
luck with that.
And I think certain jurisdictions like Russia and China don't allow people to use VPNs at all. So you have to kind of like do workarounds, I imagine, when you're in.
Yeah, yeah. We're actually setting up something like that for the Chinese audience, and we're trying to work on a solution for Iran right now too. Something through V2Ray, which is a specific kind of protocol that obfuscates this traffic to make it look like a normal connection to a website. So we're trying to integrate that for those communities to get around the censorship. So.
Right,
But
right, okay. So we should talk about that, right? But just talk in a bit. But talking about that, that's my understanding of a centralized VPN. And with a decentralized VPN, there is no central node or central point of weakness. There is no counterparty risk because the information is encrypted end to end and distributed across a decentralized network. I suppose it's a little bit like fiat currency versus Bitcoin. You know,
Yeah,
all the payments go through the bank and the banking system, and therefore they're at risk. But with Bitcoin, it's peer-to-peer, fully decentralized. Go ahead and try and shut that down. And even harder to shut down, say, with a Monero or even better, Pirate Chain.
yeah, totally. That is true. The centralized entities, like you said, you don't know what they're doing with the data, and more than likely, they're probably harvesting it for marketing companies because they can, and that's they're in the business of making money. Whereas decentralized, it's anybody and everybody that can run a node, and that's good and bad too because you can have honeypots set up on there by three-letter agencies, but at the same time. It's like the saying, if you're validating to, or if you're delegating your coins to a validator, know your validator. I think the same applies to a decentralized VPN. Know the host that you're validating. So there was like BadgerByte, there's Solar, there's MathNodes, there's Cloudbarrow. If you get to know the community, you'll know what nodes are better to connect to than others. So the decentralized aspect does allow no central authority. There's no data collection. There's no logging, and there's no single point of failure. So that is the pro of a decentralized network compared to a centralized.
Right, right. Okay. And why is using a VPN, centralized or decentralized, important anyway?
Well, there's just so much data harvesting, and data at its core is human behavior. And so if you don't like yourself being put into a category and profiled and sold to the highest bidder or even to government agencies, whether you're doing something legal or not, what could be legal today may be illegal tomorrow. And it's of utmost importance to protect your privacy on the internet because so much of it is at risk and so much of your personal information. It's like if you're walking, I live in the city, so if I'm walking around the city, I'm not going to tell some random stranger my address. So why would you do that on the internet by not using a VPN and divulging your a general location of where you live?
Right, right. Yes, absolutely. I suppose it's a little bit like, let me see if this metaphor works for not using a VPN. Supposing you and I are on opposite sides of the street and we're having a conversation with each other, but we're shouting it out loud so everybody can hear what we're talking about. And we're talking about the most intimate details, financial details, love affairs and secrets and all that sort of stuff. And everybody can hear and listen in. That's what
Yeah,
it's like if you're not using a VPN.
yeah. We have secrets not because they're bad, but because they're valuable.
Yes,
And people want that. They know it's valuable, so they want to harvest that.
yes, yes. Like I don't post my my bank account details, my account statements online for everybody to have a look at. This is
Right.
the value of Pirate Chain because nobody can look at what you got, right? Unlike say with Bitcoin. Okay, now you mentioned a few others. BadgerBytes, I know Solar Labs. What are they? Are those other white label applications of? I know Solar
Uh,
Labs is, or are they
well,
validators or nodes?
well, yeah, they host nodes on the Sentinel network, so that you can connect to through VPN. So let me see. There's a couple other ones. I can't think of them off the top of my head. Solar, and then there's other groups. Cloudbarrow, he hosts I think 4 or 5 nodes. Kyle Fabian, he hosts 4 or 5 nodes, and these are people that are active in the community. So these
Right.
are people that that it's DVPN is not a trustless setup like say an atomic swap or something. So there is a little bit of trust that goes into it, but not as much as something like a central VPN where you're trusting them not to take any of your data. So decentralized is a little bit more trustless, but yeah,
Okay.
they're just node operators.
Node operators. All right. And then how many node operators does MathNodes have? I mean, are there
Well,
enough?
we host 15 nodes right now.
Okay. But on the protocol that you're using, if I was to download your application, which runs on Mac, Linux, Windows, does it run on
Not
Android and
not
iOS?
Windows, not
Not
Windows
Windows.
yet. Yeah, and we're breaking ground on the iOS and Android app in November, so a couple days from now, and we should be able to have that released early next year, sometime in around March.
Okay, so right now it runs on Mac and Linux, and
Yes.
then so if I install your application and then I pay a certain amount of fees with using DVPN or Atom or Osmo, then where are the nodes that I connect to? I mean, if there's only 15 that you've got, that's
Well,
not
I
gonna
can
be-
I can show you if you want to see
sure.
the. Yeah, I'll do a screen share here.
Okay, I can see your web page.
Yeah, so this is our app that's running in Linux right now, and you can see the different continents up here: North America, Oceania. So you can click on that, and it'll show a little pin. So there's 54 nodes in Australia. You can click
Oh,
that, and this will show all the different nodes that are in Australia that you can connect to. So a lot of these are the monikers. Nicole, Dingo ate my baby. I would probably connect to that one because it's a funny name. It's true. If you have a more unique name, it kind of strikes you as something you want to connect to. But we'll do a connection to.
let's have a look in the UK.
Okay, yeah, yeah,
20 nodes in the UK.
yeah. So Alien Boy, I like that. That sounds cool. Oh, Mr. Pascal, that's another node operator as well. He hosts quite a few, maybe 15, 20 nodes. So let me show you. We can subscribe to this.
Yep.
So this you just click on. You'll have a little hand button. You can click on it, and these are the different tokens that you can use: Secret, Osmo, Atom, Dissenter, and DVPN. So we'll actually use Secret because I have some. Uh,
Mm,
oh, he doesn't accept Secret, so let me
okay.
see if I can find somebody that does. There we go. So Roy node, you can see that it's 100 secret, 100 mu secret. So we'll do that. So DVPN's the same. I just want to show that you can use an IBC token to
Right.
subscribe.
Now you're sending the secret. It's
Yeah.
taken
So
from your wallet to
yeah.
this
So it
wallet,
goes into an escrow account,
right?
and so as you use your node, it will it will release funds to their wallet address.
Okay. Now, is there any way of me finding out who this node operator is and where they are and their identity?
No, that's the value of decentralized network is no, it's all anonymous. So the only time you can find somebody out is if they're willing to share their information on Telegram or something in the channel.
Right.
So these are all my subscriptions. So this is the one we just subscribed to. This is my first United Kingdom node. So
Hey.
um, I'm not going to connect to it because we're on Zoom and that would probably interrupt our connection. But you can see that I subscribed 1,000 Mu Secret for 10 gigabytes, and
Now,
it's in the
how
United
many
Kingdom.
how many mu secrets in one secret token?
1 million.
That's really cheap.
Yeah, that's what Sentinel really offers is very inexpensive DVPN connections. So
That,
this one I have 34 gigabytes for 3.4 DVPN, which is about not even a penny, I don't think.
wow.
Maybe 2 cents. Yeah.
Now, okay, and then what about how reliable are these nodes? What if they go offline? One that
So
you subscribe
I'll
to?
stop sharing for now, but so there's some that do go offline, so that's why it is good to know the main hosts of nodes like the Solar or Math nodes or Badger Byte or Mr. Pascal or and so on and so forth. Um, right now, they've been pretty steady to uptime, and it's like most of the ones that I have, I still can subscribe to and connect to. So that is the kind of a decentralized VPN is that people can set up a node and you could subscribe to it, and then they could get rid of it.
Right, right, okay. But then the money's only been taken, and it's a tiny amount, as you're using it, as it's being used up. So
That's
if
right.
they
Yep.
stop, if they suspend their service for whatever reason, well, you're not going to lose any more because
Right.
you
Exactly.
won't be taking any more. Okay. And then, is it so you're part of the Sentinel DVPN network? and the math node, the Meal app, is just the front end through which I can connect to any node on the Sentinel network. Is that right?
That's exactly correct. Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, because I thought that the Meal app would only connect with those that were connected to the Meal app, it was like a ring fence. It was smaller, a subsection.
No, so it queries every node that people set up for other people to connect to is is registered on the blockchain. So our Melee app queries the blockchain for all the node information, so you can see all the nodes that are on the Sentinel network, and you can connect through that way.
Right, right. Okay. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. All right. And if I want to set up the Mila app, is it kind of easy? Do I
Yeah,
need to
so
like
um, for OS X, you can just go to meile.app, so melee.app, and you can just download the binary. There's a link there, and you can just run it, and it just opens right away. And so
okay.
that's for Intel OS X and the Apple Silicon. And same for Linux. For Red Hat, we have a RPM archive, and we have a Debian package for Ubuntu. And
Okay, you've lost me.
oh, okay.
With the binary, I just want to run an
Oh,
app.
it's just a you just double click on it.
Okay, just double click and then it does
Yeah,
everything. So it's not
yeah,
phew, when you say binary, it's like, whoa. And then the other, I know Ubuntu, but I don't know all the other stuff you said.
yeah. That's okay.
Okay, all right. All right, you mentioned earlier the fiat gateway, which means that people can buy DVPN directly without going to an exchange. How does that work?
Yeah, so I'll do a screen share really quick, and I'll show you what we have coded into Mela. Okay,
Okay.
so if you go to your wallet, you'll be able to see that there's something called refuel. So that's what we call, some people call it top up or whatever. But
Yep.
in there, you have your Sentinel address. That's where the tokens will be sent to. You can purchase 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000 DVPN. And this takes a credit card. So you can use a prepaid credit card, something that doesn't have your name attached to it. We process this through Stripe, and they've reached out to us, and they are supportive of what we're doing, offering a VPN service. So basically, just import your credit card number. And this all goes through a secure layer, and you can purchase it that way.
Okay, so wait a minute. So I can use a top-up card that doesn't have name or details, so that way I avoid KYC. But even if I use my regular card, well, I've already done the KYC for that, and they won't necessarily know that I'm purchasing crypto because it's going through Stripe or whatever. Is that right?
Yeah, so they'll think you're buying a DVPN service or a VPN service, because that's what'll show on your credit card. Math nodes will be there. We don't collect any. You can see that there's no form for your name or zip code or address on here. It's just credit card number, expiration date, and your CVV. So we don't know. It doesn't have any exposure to us of who purchases DVPN tokens through our hot wallet.
Right.
Stripe Stripe keeps that record on their end, but as they see it, that somebody's purchasing VPN service.
Right. Okay. And then is it just DVPN I can buy? Can I buy?
Yeah, that's the only one we're offering right now. We may try to make it available on our website as well to purchase DVPN through the same method: credit card number, expiration date, and like I said, you can use a prepaid credit card. So
Right. Okay. And then once I've got the DVPN in my wallet, is it easy enough for me to send it to a Kepler wallet or to receive from a Kepler wallet as well?
not within the app. We don't have that functionality now, so it'll just get sent to your the wallet within here, which you can restore any wallet on the Cosmos chain within the app. So you could have this same wallet in Kepler or on Cosmos Station.
Right. Okay. Okay. Understood. Thank you. Then is there anything else you want to let us know about this application? Actually,
Well,
there is
yeah.
something I
So
want to ask you. Go on. You
yeah,
answer
there is one thing I want to know is that in starting in about 2 weeks, we're going to offer an incentive program. So
that.
it's going to be based on how many times you connect to a node over a certain period of time, and you'll be able to claim in your wallet um, DVPN tokens for using our application.
So if I download your application and then I connect to your node,
No, it doesn't
one of
even
your
have to
nodes,
be our node. It can be any. It can be subscribed to any node on the Sentinel blockchain.
yeah,
We use a ping mechanism, so when you connect to a node, it doesn't tell us anything about who you're connecting to or anything like that. It just says, "Hey, I'm connecting to a node." It shares just that information of the app user ID, which is anonymous data. And when you do it over, like, say, 10-day period, 10 times in the wallet within the app, you'll be able to claim an incentive reward. So maybe like 100 DVPN you'll be able to claim. So it'll just be incentive for using the Sentinel network through our app.
okay, okay, very cool, very cool. And then, um, what are your plans on becoming more known, apart from the incentive program, more known, more established? What are you going to do about that?
Uh, we're trying to work with like Fiverr or Fiverr. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but to get some artists to do some advertisements for us. So voiceovers and some graphic. We did contract one to do some graphic art for us. So um, just kind of spread the word that way, and just work with the rest of the Sentinel team, Solar, and everybody that's involved to spread the word for Sentinel as a whole to become a bigger chunk of the VPN market.
Right. Very good, very good. Well, I think decentralized VPN is the way to go, just like decentralized everything. And
I
then
agree.
one thing we didn't talk about, right, is the importance of using a decentralized VPN. One, I suppose, in a world where there's increasing authoritarianism, where the EU is saying to Twitter that you have to abide by what we think is permissible if you want to operate in Europe. So then the way out of that is for people in the EU to use a VPN in order to connect to a node outside the EU jurisdiction, so they can be the free exchange of ideas and opinions, which is so critical to progress. But also in areas where there's conflict, like in Iran currently, and perhaps in Ukraine and Somalia and other parts of the world, and Syria, Saudi Arabia, with incredibly repressive regimes. Um, do you want to just say something about anything you've noticed about that, or how important that is?
Yeah, exactly. You need to be able to show that you need to be able to connect to the internet through different means than your local ISP, your internet service provider, and especially in those countries where there's a lot of conflict. There's so much um, ostracification of people in authoritarian governments that you need to be able to conceal your identity, especially for journalists, for activists, for anybody that is opposed to a way of living that is being imposed on them. You need to be able to spread your message, and DVPNs are essential for that.
Yes. Yes, yes, yeah. DVPNs, along with privacy cryptos such as Firo, Conceal Network, and Pirate Chain. And
Yes.
Freaknik, thank
Anything that is in the privacy area, you should get involved in for sure.
yes. Freaknik, listen, thank you so much. And if you have any major news announcements or any, or developments or whatever, and you want to come back on my channel, please do reach out to me. I'll make it work. Really appreciate what you said. For anybody who's watching, make sure you use a VPN. The Meal app is incredibly, incredibly, stupidly cheap to use and run and keep your data secure and private. So go check it out. Otherwise try out the Solar Labs or whatever. And if you don't want to use a DVPN or you can't work it out, make sure you use a VPN. And
Yes.
the other thing that I invite you all to do if you're watching this is please check out the series of videos, which by the time this goes out, because we recorded this on the 30th of October, by the time this video actually goes out, I'll have done a whole series of short videos on how to get involved in the Osmos ecosystem, which includes how to purchase and stake and pool Atom, Osmo, and DVPN. All right. Comments, questions, let me know in the description below the video. And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with decentralized VPN profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Freaknik signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.